It's Star Wars reaction time!
Ah, yeah! And may the Force be with Baby Yoda! Someone's got to protect him. Oh, maybe it's the Mandalorian. So we caught the latest episode of the Mandalorian, and oh my god, this whole Beta Yoda thing is blowing up the internet. I'm still not sure if it actually is Baby Yoda or another Yoda that is like, you know, from the same species and whatnot, but somebody made a video called Baby Yoda Explained, and I'm like, I need to know.
I need to know too.
I need to know. And apparently there's so much
it's so
information that he's
cute.
made it a 10-minute video, so
Dang.
I guess maybe we weren't watching that hard. The thing is with this show is that literally there's very little spoken dialogue. There's a lot of things that you kind of already have to know about that universe and the timeline and what's going on.
Yeah.
You can totally watch it actually without it. Like, don't get me wrong. Go watch it. It's probably one of the best shows, if not the best show right now on Disney Plus. Absolutely fantastic, well produced. But this whole revelation of Baby Yoda kind of just came out of left field, just like boom, boom, boom. Shocker.
Shocker. Oh my god, even me. I'm like, I want Baby Yoda now.
Oh, dude. That's so adorable. The way they design him, honestly, it's a little bit too adorable. It's almost like Baby Muppets adorable. Like it's like a cartoon character.
God.
It's hard not to fall in love with this critter.
Right. It reminds me a little bit, just a little bit, you know, the idea of it, like the E.T. Is that E.T. or I?
E.T.? No. Maybe Gizmo from Gremlins. He's got a bit of those characteristics.
Really?
But E.T.
No, it's just
E.T. doesn't even have ears.
Talking or like this. That part.
Motions.
Only that part. Yes.
Okay,
only that part.
Okay.
Talking about. I have spoken anyway. What's that?
All right, let's
What's the
watch
name of this character? The one's riding with the big fish.
He's riding a big fish. Okay.
Yes, a giant fish.
Yes. That guy's name is Frumpalicious.
No, you're kidding me.
No, it's Frumpalicious.
Frumpalicious?
All right, let's watch this. And away we go. Heavy
Welcome
spoilers.
To the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host, Definition, and it's time to go back to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Wow, this
Throughout
is a great
video,
channel.
we'll be
It's called
breaking
Heavy
down
Spoilers.
everything that you need to
Go
know
check 'em
about
out.
Baby Yoda and the best fan theories on the cutest character in the Star Wars universe. If we're right, there will be heavy spoilers here, so if you don't want to know anything about the future of the Disney Plus show, then I highly recommend that you turn off now. We're only 2 episodes into the series so far, but there's a lot of evidence here to support the things we'll be talking about, and we don't want to ruin the show for anyone who wants to go in as blind as possible.
Should we watch it? No, I don't care because I'm still clueless.
Oh my god. Hope he knows. All right. I'm already committed.
So we first come face to face with Baby Yoda at the end of episode 1 of The Mandalorian. The baby has quickly become an entire mood and has reduced some people online to tears. I'm not even kidding. The creature, referred to as the Asset, is a high-value target that is extremely sought after by a mysterious, imperial figure known as the Client. I'll get into the reasoning behind this later, but it's highly suggested that the Asset is a very dangerous being that has provided a wave of death and destruction for all that have tried to take it. But look at it, it's just so cute. Anyway, the Client seems very blasé about whether the Mandalorian needs to bring it in alive, only stopping to suggest another option at the insistence of his ally, Dr. Pershing. Upon arriving at the Asset, the Mandalorian discovers that several other bounty hunters in the area are after it, including IG-11, voiced by Taika Waititi, and later ones that look like they come from the same species as Bosk. Though we don't know the identity of the baby just yet, we do know that it is 50 years into a roughly 900-year lifespan, and that it comes from the same species as Yoda. Now, unfortunately, we don't actually know the name of Yoda's species, and while several sources list them as being called Lanix, George Lucas has often refuted this, stating that he wants the race to remain a mystery. When discussing Yoda's origins in an interview with Moviefone, Lucas said the following: "He's a mystical character, he has no background, he comes and he goes. He's the subversive, secret, mysterious stranger that enters the film and then exits at the end. It's like poetry, they rhyme. Buster Rhymes. He may not have said that last bit. This means that we have no concrete name for them.
You almost got me
However,
there,
there
dude.
have been a handful that have popped up in the Star Wars saga, mainly Yaddle, who, similar to Yoda and the baby, are highly force sensitive. We know that these creatures are extremely rare throughout the entire galaxy, and that they all seemingly have a connection with the Force, which is exemplified in Baby Yoda, who can easily use it even in its young stages of life. On the whole though, they are just referred to as the quote-unquote Yoda species, but who knows, maybe the Mandalorian will clear this up as we get into it. So who is Baby Yoda? At the moment online, there are a lot of people asking who Baby Yoda is, with some people believing that the creature is literally a younger version of Yoda. However, due to the timeline of the show, this is impossible.
See, that's what I thought.
So it's not?
And the events of The Mandalorian are set 5 years after The Return of the Jedi, which is the film that Yoda died in. The fact that Baby Yoda is 50
Oh.
means that it was born roughly around the same time as Anakin Skywalker, just before the events of The Phantom Menace.
Damn. See, I knew that the timeline was just off for me.
But they live long.
They do, but it happened after he died. Yoda's already dead.
Oh, he died after he died?
And throughout the entire rise and fall of the Jedi and later the Empire, it was hidden away, potentially due to its abilities. So no, it's definitely not Yoda. It also exists in a time where people seem to be unaware once more of the Force, and Mando really has no idea what happened when the creature was demonstrating its ability to lift the Mudhorn. This cements that the Jedi and Sith have fallen into obscurity, and there's potential that a lot that have sought out the asset have died when coming face to face with it because they don't understand what it can do. Personally, I believe that Mando
totally
only
looks like
survived
Gizmo.
because he showed that he was there to protect it, killing IG-11, and this built the foundations of the bond that the two now have. But where did it come from? Well, there have been a lot of theories online that this baby is the love child between Yoda and Yaddle, and that in the collapse of the Jedi, the latter hid her baby
Are
from the
you
war in
serious?
order to keep it safe. Though Jedi are not supposed to have relationships, this may have happened, though personally, as I'm guessing you can tell, I highly doubt it. One fan theory does suggest that due to Yaddle's
I don't buy that
disappearance in the
one.
middle of the Star Wars
Too
prequel trilogy,
obvious.
that she was expelled from the Jedi Order for bearing a child, and with this baby she set out across the universe to make her own way. We do know that she wasn't present on the Jedi Council in Revenge of the Sith, and did not perish during Order 66, so it is possible that this happened. Though, surely Yoda would have been in trouble too, but yeah, I guess Me Too wasn't around back then. Anyway, if this did happen, then Anakin, aka Darth Vader, may have eventually tracked her down when hunting the Jedi, and he could have killed her. As he was unaware of the child, it could have remained hidden like Luke and Leia, and thus made it to the events of The Mandalorian. However, there also exists another pretty big theory that is currently floating about online that says
That was,
maybe
like, the
Baby
best
Yoda
thing.
is, well, just a Baby Yoda, and is in fact a clone of the character. Now, cloning is a big part of the Star Wars continuity, and even so far back as 1977's A New Hope, we had lip service paid to the Clone Wars, which, with the prequels, were revealed to involve stormtroopers that were cloned en masse from bounty hunter Jango Fett, who could also tie in with Mando in some way. We know on Kamino that
He's
this
a
process
Mandalorian?
could produce direct copies
was
of
a
beings
Mandalorian,
and even
yeah.
increase or decrease
He's
the
been
speed that
cloned.
they age at.
Mm-hmm.
One of the
form the
most
entire
interesting
Stormtrooper
things
army.
that eagle-eyed viewers have picked up is that the enigmatic Dr. Pershing, who wants Baby Yoda alive more than anyone, has a symbol on his top that is the exact same one that the Kamino cloners use. This suggests that perhaps his interest in Baby Yoda comes from the fact that he was involved in the cloning of the character, and this would also explain why the client knew the rough whereabouts of where it was. I mean, who wouldn't want to clone Yoda and have their own baby army of Jedi?
And they want alive.
Oh, that's a pretty damn good theory. That's a pretty damn good theory.
It does make sense, but I am leaning more towards the theory that Baby Yoda is just a victim of a war-torn galaxy that was sent to the planet to evade the eyes of the Empire, and that it has remained hidden there ever since. That doesn't mean that cloning won't come into it though, and personally I do believe that the client wishes to retrieve it so that he can mass produce copies of it. This is why Dr. Pershing is involved, as he will be carrying out the procedures that enable the character to be reproduced. I'm sure Disney will be reproducing it anyway because of all the toys. I mean, who doesn't want a Baby Yoda teddy bear, Baby Yoda Funko Pop, Baby Yoda
Oh my
socks. It does seem that the
God, are
creature
you
can be
kidding?
cloned whether it's dead or alive. However, it may be easier to clone something living, and this is why Dr. Pershing was so insistent that Mando bring Baby Yoda in unharmed. There's also another theory floating about online at the moment as well that says that the baby will actually have big repercussions for the Star Wars universe going forward, and that there will be some major tie-ins to the upcoming movie, The Rise of Skywalker. We know from trailers and leaked images that Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious, will be returning for the film, but many fans have been curious about how the character has managed to achieve such a long lifespan. Fan theories suggest that this is partly due to Baby Yoda, who, as we all know, ages very slowly in comparison to humanoids. It is possible that Palpatine wishes to have Baby Yoda brought in for some studying so that he can see how the creature is able to live for so long, and then he can apply it to his own life through genetics in order to make it all the way through the entire 9-movie arc. It is an interesting theory, and though we haven't had any mention of the Mandalorian tying into Episode 9, it's not outside the realm of possibility. We know that the Marvel Disney Plus shows will tie in with the great MCU.
Interesting. Yeah, another good theory. Another good theory.
Too much, baby.
So you already forgot it all?
So yeah, this could likely happen. Going forward with Baby Yoda, there's just so many things that can happen when the Mandalorian reaches the client, but one thing that we do know that won't happen is that he will hand it over without a fight. I mean, just look at that face. Just look at it. You can kind of see why.
He's like, force, sleep.
Anyway, it's clear that they've both grown an attachment to one another, and it would be awesome to see these two going around the galaxy together. Actually, though, thinking about it, yeah, it would be pretty funny if he just handed it over and took the money and left, and it would be the final FU to Star Wars fans. Kathleen Kennedy's ultimate endgame. She is the real Darth Sidious, it turns out.
This guy's got some humor going on. Some interesting theories there. Although, at the end of the day, for me, I honestly don't care about any of the theories. I just kind of want to enjoy the show this time. Like, I'll digest it, and I'm fine with it. But I'm not mentally latching on to anything specifically. Mainly because I think Disney will do right with this final movie. I think they're going to do right with this show. They're going to make the stories actually matter this time. I feel like so much of Star Wars in the last couple of like movies and everything just been just like all over the place, you know, like some good, mostly bad, just fan service without purpose. But this one seems to be really well put together. They're pacing it in a very deliberate way. So let's just enjoy why it's happening.
Definitely. For me, I will just have to enjoy because I am clueless Lulu. I am enjoying Baby Yoda and Mandalorian. I didn't know that the clone of what's those soldiers, the white ones? Storm
Crackers.
No.
They're called the Storm
No,
Crackers.
no, that is not real. Is based on him, right?
It's not based on
They
him.
clone.
They based it off of one of his people, one of the Mandalorians.
Oh, so not
That's
specifically.
a whole different timeline. Yeah, that was a while ago. This is like many generations later. So he's one of the people from this. There's also Boba Fett, like I told you, from the original Star Wars trilogy. So there's been a couple of Mandalorians now that have shown up, and they are basically bounty hunters.
Warriors,
they're so good
like...
at doing what this is. I don't know if it's specifically bounty hunters or if they're considered warriors or mercenaries, but they seem to have a knack for, taking people down. So,
oh, dang.
Yeah.
You can't play with them.
I get a feeling like in the last episode, they're going to reveal who this person is, and it's going to be some big shocking sort of thing. Like, because at this point, you haven't seen anything about his face.
Yes.
You don't see any of the expressions. You just hear his voice. And, like, I have no real sore interest in kind of in that expedited. Maybe it's actually better just to keep it a mystery. Like I said, I'm not going to even guess. I'm just enjoying every episode.
Oh, I can't wait for the next episode.